In this video, we're going to be talking about the Bootstrap navigational bar. You can go to the getbootstrap.com website, scroll down to the nav bar, and you can see all the documentation they provide to create your own navigational bar. We're going to go in and recreate this page here. This is a navigational bar with a brand, a couple of links. You have a drop-down menu, a couple of actions, a separator, and then another link, another separator, and a link. Then on the right-hand side, you kind of have the same thing. And then we're going to wrap all of the link and drop-down menus into a toggle button. So when you resize the screen, those disappear into this toggle button, and you can toggle it off and on. So let's jump into our HTML page. And first off, to get the full functionality of our Bootstrap, we're going to have to add these two script tags at the bottom of our body closing tag. What we're accessing here is jQuery and JavaScript. Later on in the course, we'll be going over jQuery and JavaScript, so don't worry about it for now. Just at the moment, put in these script tags and you'll have full functionality of Bootstrap. So let's jump into the top of our body tag, and normally Bootstrap will have you create a div and put everything within that, but for your navigational bar, we're having to use the nav tag. Then we're going to actually have Atom autocomplete this for us, which it gives us the class of nav bar default. We're actually not going to have it fixed to the top. Then it gives us the role navigation. This role navigation is for our screen readers. And then it gives us another div class container. And within this container is where we're going to create our full navigation bar. Let's continue on with our nav bar header and branding. And we do that by creating another div. And this is going to have a class of nav bar and header. And then within that div class, we're going to have another anchor tag. This anchor tag is actually going to have a class of navbar branding. So let's go ahead and put that in there. And then we can actually give this anything. We don't actually have to put brand. We can put whatever we want. We're actually just going to do project name. And we can actually see our handiwork already. If we just go ahead and save that, go back into our page. We can refresh it, and there we see our navigational bar with our project name. But let's continue on. We'll create our first link, which is actually going to be an unordered list. And this unordered list is actually going to have another class. We're going to have to give it the class of nav, and also navbar nav. And then within our unordered list, we can create our first list item, and that's also going to be another anchor tag. And it doesn't have to be anything special, so we can just put that as link. We can go ahead and save that. We can see our first link in our page. And we can go ahead and expand this web page, and you can see our link jump up to next to our project name. So let's finish this off and create one more link, just as before. Link, anchor tag, and then we'll again put link. And if you want to make one of these links active, just go back into the list tag, and you can do class active. And go ahead and save that, and you can see now that there will be two, and one of them will be highlighted due to the active tag. So let's continue and jump on in with one more list item. With this list item is going to have to be our drop-down menu, so it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to give this one the class of, you guessed it, drop-down. Our anchor tag is actually going to have to look a little different as well, because we want it to be able to toggle the menu. So the way that's going to look is we're going to use our normal anchor tag, but we're going to give it the class of dropdown toggle, data toggle dropdown, and then we're just going to put in some text like we did before, dropdown, and span, and a class of caret. So let's go ahead and continue on by saving this, and then we'll jump back into our web page and refresh it, and you can see our dropdown. Expand this. We can see our drop down at the moment isn't toggling anything, so let's go ahead and create that by creating a unordered list nested within this list, and it'll look something like this, where you have an unordered list class of drop down menu, and then I gave it a few links with action, another action, something else, and then I gave a list item the class of divider to give me that line, and another separated link. So we'll save that again, jump back into our page, refresh it, and now we can toggle the action, another action, something else. And here's that line with the class of divider and then our separated link. So Now it's very simple to get this same setup on the right hand side, so let's go ahead and do that. Your next unordered list is actually going to look very similar to this whole thing right here. I'm just going to jump out of both unordered lists and create a completely new one. It's going to look exactly like this, where you want another unordered list with the class of nav, nav bar nav, and just put it to the right is nav bar right. So it's that simple. We can save this, jump back into our page, and there you can see the drop down with our actions or separator links all on the right hand side. So the next thing that we want to create is going to be our toggle button. That button is going to wrap up our links and drop down menus when the screen gets smaller. So let's go ahead and jump into our HTML page and create that. We are going to create the button within our first div of class navbar header. So let's jump in there, and our button is going to look like this, where we have the button, type button, class is going to be a navbar toggle. We want it collapsed, and then it's going to be a data toggle for collapse, and we're going to give it a target of the Bootstrap example navbar collapse 1. We don't have this target yet. We're actually going to have to wrap up our unordered list, and we're going to have to put it within a div and give it the ID of our Bootstrap example navbar collapse 1, and then that's going to look something like this, to where we have the div class collapse navbar collapse, and we'll give it the ID, and then we want to close off that div at the end of the unordered list like this. Then we're going to save it, and we're going to actually go back into our page, and we'll refresh it, and then we'll see if our toggle button works. And it does, which is fantastic. So that's our navigational bar, and that's the end of this video.